Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. We've got another round of updates when it comes to changes for patch 9.2, and I've been getting a lot of questions on what's looking really good, what's looking like a lot of fun, what's going to be the best moving into patch 9.2, and these update videos are a really good place to start sorting that out and figuring it out. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to make sure that you get these updates in real time, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and it will just notify you when my videos go out. In this round of updates, we saw big changes to Demon Hunter, Warlock, and Assassination Rogue, and it's really potentially priming them up for a lot of success, and maybe some of them not so much. So let's just get started here. Some of the first changes towards Demon Hunter, and I think most notably the Havoc Demon Hunter, is going to be your tier set bonuses are being changed slightly. Your Havoc 2-piece bonus is now going to be increases Blade Dance and Chaos Strike damage by 20%, and this bonus also applies to Death Sweep and Annihilation while in Metamorphosis. So getting a flat out 20% damage to your sustained damage spells is going to be a warm welcome to the Havoc Demon Hunters in the game as a whole. I think that Havoc Demon Hunter in PvP especially is starting to kind of level up and get into a strong spot already. And with these set bonuses, it's looking like it could be even better. So if you haven't already, I know a lot of people have started re-rolling over to Demon Hunters. I just unlocked my Warglaive transmog on mine, so I was actually thinking about picking it up, especially as Necro Lord in PvP. This might be the time now to break out the Demon Hunters. Your 4-set bonus is now going to be Metamorphosis's duration is increased by 6 seconds. Curious to see if this applies to Demonic, the talent activating your Metamorphosis. If it does, this is completely insane, which makes you think that maybe it doesn't. But it may also enable your honor talents that reduce the cooldown of your Metamorphosis by a significant amount. Then having its duration increased by this 4-set might make that talent a little bit more competitive to get more of those bursty windows potentially. And then every 60 Fury you consume reduces the cooldown of your Metamorphosis by 1 second. Again, playing into the strengths of that talent potentially coming into play more so for PvP, but getting an extension on Metamorphosis, getting a reduced cooldown on Metamorphosis during its major damage, and just a damage buff on the whole is going to be an insane incoming bonus to Demon Hunter for patch 9.2. And like I said, it's already in a great spot, a growing strength right now in the game. And with these set bonuses, I don't really think you're going to go wrong if you wanted to pick a Havoc Demon Hunter at this point. It's looking like a lot of fun to the people that I have seen picking it up and re-rolling to it, and it's likely going to be very strong as well. Now let's take a look at Warlock. Warlock is going to be a little bit different though. Honestly, I had to research some of these changes a little bit more in depth to figure out, is this actually a buff? What's going on with Warlock? So right now, your 2-set bonus for Affliction Warlock is going to be Malefic Rapture's damage is increased by 15%, and each cast extends the duration of Corruption, Agony, and Unstable Affliction by 2 seconds. This says changes here, and I'm assuming this just means this is also included in the previous 2-set because it doesn't make sense that this would replace it. When Malefic Rapture extends Absolute Corruption, it instead causes the target to take damage equivalent to a tick of corruption. So I think this is just like a little side note to include because there's talents that increase the duration of dots, and if you had this thing that was increasing them, who knows? Or there was going to be no benefit in PvE because Absolute Corruption is just permanent corruption. So now if you run that talent, it's still going to give you a little bit extra damage. So I don't think your 2-set is necessarily changing here. Malefic Rapture in PvP can be very difficult to actually find a moment to get it off. While this bonus seems really good, it could be very difficult to utilize. A lot of play in Warlock at the moment for Affliction is about running away, drain lifing, staying out of line of sight until you can fish for these death bolts. And with nerfs to the death bolt honor talent coming into this patch, I'm not sure that these set bonuses are really going to help you out with that, unfortunately, compared to some of the other set bonuses, especially when it comes to PvP. I was really hoping to see something aimed towards sustained damage for almost all of the specializations, like we see for Windwalker Monk getting Fist of Fury damage, like we're seeing for Havoc Demon Hunter getting their Chaos Strike and Blade Dance damage. So this is kind of like, it's all of your set bonuses are targeting spells that are really tough to use. Your 4-set bonus is still going to be while Agony, Corruption, and Unstable Affliction are active. Your Shadow Bolt has a 20% chance to make your next Malefic Rapture cost no soul shards and cast instantly. So maybe there's some chances here when I dove into the talents a little bit more for Warlock to run Nightfall, where you have a chance to proc an instant Shadow Bolt. Because if you had an instant Shadow Bolt proc into an instant Malefic Rapture proc that did 15% more damage and extended all of your dots, that might have some possibility. And I honestly did miss the old Nightfall builds, especially from things like Cataclysm Affliction Warlock was one of my favorite things, just getting a Shadow Bolt proc, launching that bad boy out and seeing a big crit. So I do wonder if that talent could potentially open up some opportunities for these set bonuses. And then the change is just to include Drain Soul, which replaces Shadow Bolt now. And maybe Drain Soul could be an option, where now it's going to have a 10% chance to proc a free Malefic Rapture. Maybe we see some execute potential from this. You may want to experiment, like I said, if you're a Warlock, with the Nightfall or with the Drain Soul with these set bonuses, and because they may have potential. And if they don't, you're probably just going to go back to the standard play of Warlock, which is the run for your life and spam Drain Life and hope someone from LFG is going to take you. Now moving on to Demonology. Again, this took a little bit of research as well for me to try and figure out how good is this actually going to be. So your 2-set bonus is Call the Dread Stalkers, has a 100% chance to summon an additional Dread Stalker. Just going to get a little bit of extra damage. Great for sustained damage. Doesn't seem as intimidating to me as some of the other changes, though. And now your 4-set bonus is going to be your Hannah Gul'dan, has a 15% chance per soul shard to summon a Malicious Imp. When slain, Malicious Imp will either deal fire damage to all nearby enemies of your implosion or deal it to your current target. So now they've basically removed all of the synergistic kind of passives that go on with your imps in your build, because they didn't want you to have to use like a ridiculous amount of add-ons and stuff to try and track the most valuable uptime and stuff. So rather than do all of that with the utility, they're just increasing the damage on death. So implosion might be very scary, because malicious imps on death damage has been increased by 388%. And then malicious imp chance increased from 5% to 15% chance per soul shard spent. So you might get a bunch of these imps, you might blow them up, you might be seeing some really big implosion combos, maybe similar to as it was at the start of Legion for Demonology. That was jumping off to the page for me with this. But again, it's kind of like I'm kind of waiting to experiment with this. If you got a Warlock and you want to jump on the PTR and give this a go, see how hard these implosions are going, I would definitely recommend checking it out. I think Demonology is likely the one that seems the strongest out of all the Warlock specs from my point of view, with the changes, the set bonuses that are incoming to them. Now, Destruction, unfortunately, Destruction, you're not really winning out on this one, I don't think, too much, at least when it comes to PvP. Your new set bonus is going to be every 10 soul shards spent makes your next Chaos Bolt or Rain of Fire free to cast. Okay, it's going to be really tough to get a bunch of these out, and it's like free to cast, so it just doesn't cost soul shards. Maybe you get like a big triple combo of Chaos Bolts. But usually someone's going to be able to stop you before you get to that point, I would think. Your 4-set bonus is going to be when Rain of Fire or Chaos Bolt is freely cast, you summon a Blasphemy. And a Blasphemy, as it says down here, just works as a normal Infernal. So it's going to generate your soul shards. It's going to do some AoE damage. And rather than continuously summoning in new Blasphemies, if you get to this point and it's already active, it's just going to extend its duration and cause it to do a bit of AoE damage as if it had impacted as well. And it will have a little bit of synergy with Reign of Chaos. Blasphemy grants Reign of Chaos if talented for its duration. So again, this is kind of a wait and see thing here. Is a Blasphemy only as good as an Infernal? Or is it going to be super powered Infernal? Like what's going to go on here? Is this going to look like that blue one from the Black Temple or something? I'm really waiting to see how much damage it does. Nothing jumped off the page to me for Destruction here. And you got a lot of kind of like quality of life problems that's going to affect you in PvP at least. In PvE, this could be some nasty AoE damage potentially. For Destruction Warlock, as I remember it at the beginning of Shadowlands, like in the beta, it was really powerful. This might get you up to that point as well, but for PvP, yeah, not really too sold on this. And then the final round of set bonuses that really jumped off the page to me. These ones aren't new. Swiftman granting you Tree of Life. I've covered this in other videos. If you want to watch those other videos, I'll have them linked at the end of this one. Getting an extra hot Resto Druid set bonuses look good. But skipping to the big change that jumped in for me, that jumped off the page, was the Assassination Rogue one, which is now going to be Shiv causes enemies within 15 yards to take 100% increased damage from your poisons and bleeds for 9 seconds. So in PvP at least, this is going to do a tremendous amount of pressure with Hemotoxin, applying, the Sharpened Blade, Mortal Wounds, healing. So you're reducing all the healing on the target, and they're taking 100% increased damage from all these poisons and bleeds. This could add a tremendous amount of burst damage as well. Very curious to see if maybe any sustained damage comes out of this, any sustained damage builds specifically for Assassination. Really have had my eyes on it for a while since they just released the set bonuses. Now they've reworked the set bonus again, and this one's really jumping off. Like I would say Assassination and Havoc Demon Hunter at the moment look really good. Maybe they're a little bit underrated because, again, there are so many changes. And if you want to stay up to date on those changes, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to follow me live as well, I'm streaming on twitch.tv/Supatease every day. I'm doing viewer games. I've helped now close to 70 people get to their desired rating. So if you want to play, don't care if you're a newbie or you're a pro. If you just want to jump in, get some games, grind some honor, grind some rating, whatever it happens to be. If you're struggling to find some partners, I want my channels to be here as a resource to help educate, entertain, and assist you in everything World of Warcraft. And other than that, thank you very much for watching the video. I will see you in the next one.